Janine? Thank you very much. Bonnie, stay there. Yep. Where's our paper? Where's the photographer? Where's that camera? Who's got the camera? Nobody want a camera. That's somebody. Thank you, Keith. We've also got one for the Parker who didn't come because he wanted to go off riding horses, and the comment that came out of our road race commissioner's that was last 12 months. Is anybody who'd like to add? I have Paul Dobbs, Tim Porter, Steve Longley, Ken Fletcher, Bud Erickson, and life member Alan Hathaway, who passed away a few days ago. His photos for you. We won't get into telling stories about Alan. I told you the story about his car accident last night. Is there anybody else would like to add? Right, Robbie.
Tim Borthwick, a life member of the Mechanic Club.
Tim?
John Martin, life member of the Soccer Club.
Okay, anybody else? Go, shut up.
Motorcycle New Zealand Incorporated, results for the election of the MNZ President. President nominees were Jim Tuckerman and Chris Lawrence. Number of votes, Jim Tuckerman 291, Chris Lawrence 275. So
Tell a motorcyclist, can you? Yeah. There you go.
Mike is the limit.
Very proud to be a member of Motorcycling New Zealand. It's a great honour and I appreciate it very much. Especially when I died 5 years ago over at Stewart Island. I don't know if you've been to Stewart Island or not, but our two daughters live on Stewart Island, and it's just so happened to be New Year's Eve. And we've been playing cards up at my oldest daughter's place, and I said, I'm sick of playing cards, I'm going down to the pub for a beer. So I went down to the pub, which is only about 8 minutes walk downhill, down to the pub, and I bought my beer and went over to the other side of the room, climbed up in a stool and onto the leader table, and boom, I hit the floor. Cardiac arrest. And I was a very lucky man that there was two people, a woman from Massachusetts in Canada and an intensive care nurse from the Gold Coast happened to be in the pub, so it pays to go to the pub, doesn't it?
Life members. You're really in trouble now, gentlemen. These are our first ever female life members. And I'd like to say don't go away. You're going to get, you get one of those mics to have a say now, Jill.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I feel really humbled standing here when I know there's lots of other people deserve what I've just been awarded. I do the job that I do because I love doing it, and I'll do it until the end of my days. Thank you. I'd really just like to endorse what Pat has said. It all started off, if you can't beat them, you might as well join them. And it's still going on.
And I would also like to thank the girls in the office for all the help that they have given us over the years.
Come to actually we're doing a big bronze statue of Barry Monroe about 6 months ago, and he presented me with this jacket. It's a fine piece of machinery. Gerald put it together in the 1950s, was it, Gerald?
Something like that.
Something like that. It kind of smells about that. On behalf of the Southern Motorcycle Club, I'd like to thank Gerald for all the work he's done over the years. He's one of those guys, I was at his 80th about 20 or 30 years ago, was it? But he's still out there doing it, and he's still out there for all our big events and that as well, as a high-level steward. The other thing as well, we've also got the Scammels. I'd like to thank them because even though they're in the club next door, the Southern Series is one of the longest ongoing series, motocross series. They've been there from day one, and it's been a good, well, it's close to 30 years it's been running as well. And I also know the Aitchisons as well. They're all, between South and Otago, that's 5 life members, and I'd really like to put your hands together for them. Thank you.
Individually, starting with Mrs. Carmen Davidson. Dave Craig. Other than friend Paul Stewart. And the youngest member of the pack, Kevin Dotto. And on that note, I'd like to...
Just before you close, I would like to say something if I may.
You may, Bob.
Yeah, I became involved with motorcycling many years ago. Some of you may not remember way back when the ACU was conducted. We copied a system from the UK, Europe. I remember my first conference that I went to, and it was like going down an old dirt track to a venue where a little old lady sat at a desk, and she had a suitcase not much bigger than that, with all the contents of the ACU in it. That was the whole sole contents of motorcycling in this country at that stage. We then moved on slightly to a gravel road, and now, of course, in the last 2 years, we've come to a tar seal road, where it had a sign halfway along, no U-turns. And further along that road, I spotted no stopping for 50 years. Thank you, Mr. President. I hope it goes well.
Thank you, Bob. And on that basis, I'd like to... Oh, have you woken up again?
Yeah, sorry. Could you please tell us where we're going next year?
Vanuatu? Next year we'll be back in Wellington.